everyone. Welcome to another episode of Ingrid's World. I am your host, Ingrid Paris Hicklin. On this show, you'll meet Ambreen Rizvi, who is the new president of the Rotary Club of Tysons Corner. Ambreen is a native of Pakistan, raised in Paris, France. She is a risk manager by profession and currently works for Fannie Mae. She is fluent in English, French, and Urdu. She has a passion for charitable work as she runs her own charity on a voluntary basis called Brigade of Mercy. Ambreen is married and raising 3 girls with her husband. Evelyn Kershaw is a founding member of the Metro Ladies of Northern Virginia, former Mother of the Year for Jack and Jill Associates, and former Executive Board Officer for the Old Dominion, Virginia chapter of the Links Incorporated. She's a longstanding member of the United Faith Christian Ministry. She is a federal retiree who served in numerous positions at the U.S. Department of Justice, the Federal Election Commission, Public Service Academy at Anacostia High School in Washington, D.C., as well as the White House. Because of these successes, Evelyn has helped some of the country's largest agencies advance their mission while impacting her community at large. Well, first, let's meet Ambreen. Welcome to the show. How are
Thank you.
you?
I'm good, Ingrid. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm very honored and humbled.
Well, I'm honored because when you became president, I said, we got to figure this out. We have to have you on the show. And I think we're going to just dive right into what is Rotary. Tell our viewers who've never heard of Rotary, what's Rotary?
So, Rotary is a nonprofit. It's an international organization that currently has about 1.2 million members. And we are talking about friends, neighbors, leaders, you just name it. Rotary is just and very like all around the globe, very international, and attracts all different kinds of people, whether they are Muslims, Christians, all different faith, all different generations, all different races. It has no boundaries.
Oh my goodness, exciting. So from that standpoint, now because we have COVID-19 going on, how are you meeting? How does your Rotary Club meet?
That's a great question, Ingrid. So we are part of the District 7610, and currently I think we are one of the few clubs that are having a hybrid meeting. What does that mean? So usually we have about 10 members that come in person at the Tower Club, which is our new meeting location for this year. And then there's an additional amount of members, the rest of the members that log in virtually online, every like second Thursday and fourth Thursday of the month. So we are having a hybrid meeting, which is a combination of in person, while people can be virtually at their home, and our speakers usually have been virtual so far. So it has been working out very, very well for our club.
So tell us about some of the programs. You have a food program going on?
Yes, we do. We had eminent speakers, coming from the charities that we are supporting locally. For example, we had, the director of the programs from Second Story coming to talk about a relationship with them, and we've been with them for 30 years as a
Wow.
Tysons. So that's an amazing history that we have with them. We also had PRS Inc. coming to talk about mental health, again explaining about how we can partner with them. So we've had like quite a bit of great speakers coming and speaking to us, and we have additional speaker lined up. For example, we are probably going to have Dr. Fauci's second hand in command, Dr. McGovern, going to come and speak at our club, whether it's virtually or in person, in
Oh
the
my.
next few. So we are very, very excited to have all these speakers coming to join us. So mostly from the charities that we support, but also leaders from our communities. Jerry Connolly is, a representative as
Oh
well. Is
yes,
an
Congressman Conley. Excellent.
Yes, he's definitely going to come and speak to us as well.
Wow. So you do activities to encourage the community, and if I'm not mistaken, I think you even do virtual races and things of that. Are you?
Yes, absolutely. So I think last year we were one of the few clubs that pulled out like a 5K. And it was a huge undertaking because it was replacing a long fundraiser, which was Monte Carlo night. So we decided to retire that and be more audacious and set up the first raid in Tyson's Corner. The challenge that we have, as you know, in Tysons, it is not yet a fully established living community. It's mostly oriented, it's a commuter community where people come in to do their work, businesses, the big companies such as Capital One, the Hiltons are headquartered there. But our challenge was to get over the weekend runners and participate to the race. And we actually received an award at the district level for pulling that off, part of our public image and one of the significant project that we did last year. So how are we going to function this year in COVID environment, right? We want people to be safe. So we are going to have a virtual 5K in the month of November. And we're very excited to be putting that in place, which is really going to allow people to have a longer time to complete that race. We're still working on the logistics and the details behind it, but we expect a huge turnout because anyone from anywhere can practically participate to that race. So again, something brand new for us. We are rebranding our last year's 5K to a virtual 5K race.
Ambreen, you are doing some wonderful things and helping the charities out there. Um, one of if I'm not mistaken, I think you have blessing boxes, or is that part of your charity? Talk a little bit about the blessing boxes that you have.
Yeah, thank you for asking about that, Ingrid. So, for the past few years, our club has participated to a district grant, that was helping, abroad Haiti, much needed, of course. But then COVID hits us, right? And of course, in the United States, we are one of the most prominent countries with the highest amount of cases, and that has had a huge impact on our economy and on our population. As a result of that effect, we as a club decided to put in our effort for the district grant for this year, brand new, towards a project called the Blessing Box. So the concept of that Blessing Box is really like having a mini food pantry. It kind of like leverages the idea of the little free library. And we are going to have the same little, little pantry that we're going to build on our own. I have some ideas about that, and we're going to place it in communities where it is needed. What will that do? That will give access to people who have emergency needs, such as, first aid kits, diapers, non-perishable food, anything that we seem appropriate, we will furnish it into that box and provide it to the community. We're going to work with the local communities as well. We are kind of strategizing right now on the placement of those boxes, but we are going to help whoever is going to be looking after the box. Our donation, our gift is to the community to give that box, and the Brigade of Mercy, my charity, will help as well to supplement that. But we are going to be locating these boxes all across our area where we are in Tysons and in native areas, and have the much needed items that those communities will have access to at any time of the day.
Wow, that's like amazing, and it's really helping, and it's fantastic how your club has just stepped up and has really just gotten involved with that. So, how, if someone's watching this and they say, I really want to get involved, what's the first step of them getting involved in a Rotary Club?
Come and see us. Come and visit us. Either come in person to our meeting on Thursday mornings, the second Thursdays of the month and the fourth Thursdays at the Tower Club in Tysons, or join us virtually. See what we are all about, right? Here are speakers. Check out our website as well. And you have like an email, the tysonsrotary at gmail.com. Contact us. Show us your interest and show us ask us the questions, and we will happily take you through, introduce you to our club members, introduce you to the type of activities and the type of charities that we support, and then we'll be happy to have you on board. We are looking for like-minded people who want to make a difference in our communities. That is the minimum requirement, and I think pretty much everyone has a heart, and whatever you want to do, you can pretty much achieve it at Rotary. That's what I strongly believe.
I like what you're saying, like minded. That is powerful what you're saying because being with like minded people and helping the community, that's
Yes.
powerful. So I have to ask you this question. You're a new president. What has been your greatest challenge being this
You
new
know,
president?
I don't know the challenge for me right now. So, what I really want to work as a club is on presence and visibility. These are my two goals for the year that are very dear to my heart: presence and visibility.
Presence
You
and
see, we
visibility.
exist in Tyson's Corner, but not everyone knows about us. Again, our challenge that we are based in a community that is still coming up as a living community, where families are raising their kids and everything. So most of the businesses, are out there and the area is growing spectacularly. So as the areas are growing, new businesses are coming, new companies are establishing themselves, and they don't necessarily know that we are out there. So my goal is to make our presence known, that we are here. We are here to make a difference in your communities, and we're looking for partnerships. It's a win-win on both sides. It's amazing to be associated with a nonprofit as a business. And it's also great that we can get volunteers from those businesses as well, or they can sponsor some of the activities that we want to do, helping the communities. So that's really the challenge that I'm up for, and besides the intimidation of the job and the great honor of being a president of one of the clubs in this district, of course, that comes with it. And honestly, I'm still terrified. This is my second month into the job, but it's also extremely humbling and rewarding. And I really take it at heart. The motto of Rotary is service above self. And I really want to give my whole heart. You gave an amazing introduction about who I am. As you know, I work full time. I have a family. I'm running a charity on my own. But my priority and my heart and soul is also my dedication towards our club, towards Rotary, and towards Rotary Club of Tysons. So I'm really hoping to be making an impact, for the next 12 months that are left into, until June, to be able to make a difference and make an impact so that we can be known of who we are. We have a presence, whether it's like a rotary wheel or it's an ad, whatever that is going to be. I really want people to know that we exist right here in Tysons.
Wonderful. Well, that is like exciting. I have to thank you so much for being on Ingrid's World. You are inspiring, and I bet some people are going to be looking at this show and say, "Hey, I need to get involved in Rotary." Thanks again, Ambreen, and all the wonderful things that you are doing for our community.
Thank you so much, Ingrid. I'm honored to have been on your show today.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, welcome to the show, Evelyn. Pleasure and an honor to have you here.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
So, we're talking about, well, first let's tell our viewers where you're from. You make your home. Where do you make your home?
I'm in Northern Virginia right now, but I'm not originally from Northern Virginia.
Ah,
Yes, I'm from South Carolina originally. That's where my family is from.
so one of the questions that we're grappling with is about COVID-19, and I would like to just jump right on in there because I think you do a lot of different things that are so helpful. And how have you managed the restriction with COVID-19?
Oh, I think that's a great question. COVID-19 has really brought on a lot of changes for us. Um, but some of the adjustments that I have made were not really extensive. I don't go to Michael's and Joann's every day as I used to. And every time I go out, if it's to the doctor's or to the grocery stores, I have on a mask, and I encourage all my family and friends to do the same thing, have on a mask, try to social distance as much as possible. or stay in. So we're making these adjustments that I think most people are doing. Um,
Wonderful, wonderful.
but I'm finding doing a lot of things that you probably weren't doing before the pandemic also takes up a lot of your time. So it really makes it easier to adjust.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So now, tell me, Evelyn, you are dealing with COVID-19, but how do you keep yourself motivated? Because every time I speak to you, you're always like on this high, and you're really so happy. How do you keep yourself motivated?
Well, I think you have to have a concerted effort to be uplifted and real positive every day because it is disturbing when you turn on the news and you see what's happening and it's so much devastation or how many people have died or even suffering with the disease or lost a job. So it's real difficult, but you have to really put your faith out front. Faith is a verb, so you really have to use it you know. And these are the times that try men most. I think
Ah,
that's at the top of my list. So I have to have faith and have hope and moving forward positively. Also, it helps a whole lot when you have family and friends that feel the same way that you can reach out to, you can talk, you're uplifting them and they're uplifting you. So that those are two positive things.
so I have heard that you have had become this mask making machine. Well, is there any truth to that?
I enjoy it so much. I really feel like one of the things that we should do more of, whether it's a pandemic or not, is reaching out, helping other people. So I have taken on several projects, and one is doing masks. Some of the organizations that I'm in, I agreed to do masks. I actually had so many that I had to purchase some and make some because I was really rolling them out. And I was concerned that the ones that I was sending to the hospitals may not be medical grade or whatever. So I purchased some, but I made some. I have a special line of back to church masks, face masks.
You have back to
And
church mass.
yes, so when we do open up fully and we're back to church, it may be that we still want to have some precautions. So just in case, we've got it to go along with our Sunday attire.
Very
So
smart.
yes.
Wow. And then I've heard that you put together something for a Sweet 16 party.
Oh, I love
What
crafting.
did you do?
I did the favors, and the favors were actually Hershey candy bars, but they were made into little purse favors with the little, with the chains and everything. And it was all personalized. And I think the little girls, I want to say little girls, the young ladies, the 16-year-olds loved it. I think they did. And I enjoyed so much making them. I like to do fascinators and I do other crafts. I like to make my own cards rather than buying cards. So that was a real treat for me to do something like that. And it is time consuming. So it kind of consumes some of that time that you'd ordinarily be spending watching the news.
So you said something to me really interesting when we were talking. I guess it was yesterday, and you said, "Hey, I bought all these cards, and you were
Um,
mailing them out." Tell our viewers
yes,
about that.
yes. You could get a bunch of cards. I've got cards that say, how are you doing during the pandemic? And I think about my um, midday Bible study class group. We haven't gotten together since I think it was February. So it's been over 6 months now. And so I'm sending cards out to every one of them saying, how are you doing during the pandemic? Because some of them actually live by themselves. And I think it's just a way of checking in on people. I'm also the president of my high school. alumni class. And they will be surprised when they each get cards. Just
Ah,
checking in on them. I think we've got 139 or so. But every week I send out cards and I'm just checking in on them. And I get calls back and get to check in on people. And it's really uplifting.
well, it sounds like it because when you pointed out to me that I think you got 100 cards for $12, and you said, "Well,
Yes,
Ingrid, it only costs 35 cents to put a stamp on it," and
that's right.
I'm like, ah, I
That's
love it.
right. So, and I also have another 100 or so that have vote on it. So I'm also sending those out. I got all these
It's always
cards that
good.
I'm daily sending out, but I'm encouraging people to get out and vote. This is a crucial year. So when you're busy doing things like that, you can see how I'm hoping that it's making a difference.
Well,
You know,
so
uh-huh,
yeah.
my grandmother, uh, my grandmothers, I should say, went through the last pandemic of 1918. And one grandmother had 12 children and a set of twins who were babies, which was my mother.
Oh,
So
wow.
if they were able to do and help one another and survive a pandemic, and they had far less resources than we have now,
You
you
know
can
what?
see.
That's a takeaway, isn't it? That's a real takeaway. When you said they
Yeah,
have far less resources than what we have.
that's right. That's right.
Mm,
Cell
that's
phone.
powerful.
Mm.
So, have there been any aha moments during this, as you're dealing with COVID-19? What any aha moments for you?
Well, I'd have to say one was we started a family call, when the pandemic started. I think it was in April, and reaching out to family just so we could have prayer time together. Well, actually, it has really been a blessing. The last call we had, and we've moved up to the Zoom call. The last call we had was 31 families on the line. And the oldest family member was a 93-year-old cousin that I didn't know about. So that's been, and you just see how when you reach out to others and then we all come together, it's been such a blessing in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh my
So it really
goodness.
reminds me of you've heard of the 6 inches versus the 6 feet concept.
So, what's that concept about?
Okay, that's when a lot of us have only 6 feet of water. I mean, 6 inches of water. In other words, we may be riding down the street in our car, our Cadillac, on our way to Cheesecake Factory to get what we want, and we're complaining about the insurance that we have to pay for. All the while, we're passing by maybe an elderly person on the street who has to catch a bus to go and get groceries or doesn't have enough money to get groceries or just lost their job. It appears they are suffering with 6 feet of water where we've only got 6 inches. Being overwhelmed in 6 inches really looks frivolous at this point. So we really need to think about that. Some of the things we complain about. When we think about food costs going up, think about those that don't have money to get food.
Right.
So, yes.
Right.
Mm,
And I just love it, that you're, again, bringing it to us about being grateful and thankful. If there are some words of wisdom that you want to share with our viewers and say, you know, this is how you can reinvent yourself. I mean, because we have about a minute and a half. You reinvented yourself. How did you do this?
um, I did reinvent myself I'm doing a lot of things now that I was not doing before. For example, the Zoom call and learning about how you can do some things on that and other technology that I've been out. And I really make a concerted effort to try to stay positive. I pray every morning, and let my faith and not worry because you cancel out your prayer when you worry. So you have to believe. And then you have to understand that love covers a multitude of sin. So when we all, go down with hatred, but we all go up with love. So we have to remember this is the thing to keep you motivated and keep you looking for new things to do. I've enrolled in a class since I'm at the
There's no
since the
stopping
pandemic
you.
is going on.
There's no
It's something
stopping you.
new.
I love
Learning
it.
something. It's exciting. I enjoy it, and I just thank God because I have to give Him all the glory because you think of everything that's going on and how hard it is for adults. What about the children? The children have going through that too. I was just reading a book with my grandson, my 11-year-old grandson Taylor, and the book it really talks about that. How you really need to look at
Hmm.
what's going on. It's about the quiet voice
Right.
that you don't always know where to go or who to go to for help in this time. So we need to be thinking about looking at what we can do for others, and then the blessings come back to us.
Wow. I just love what you're saying, and what a wonderful way to end this interview because you are inspiring us. You gave us lots of tips, and we just wish you just thank you so much for being on Ingrid's World, Evelyn. You're
Oh, thank you
wonderful.
so much.
I
Thank you.
I like to thank Ambreen as well as Evelyn for being outstanding guests. Each of our guests gave us tips on how to manage COVID 19 and be of service. My inspirational quote is from Nelson Mandela. It is in your hands to make a better world for all who live in it. Thank you for watching Ingrid's World, and don't forget to friend us on Facebook, follow us Ingrid's World VA on Twitter and Instagram, and if you miss an episode, you know what to do. Watch Ingrid's World on YouTube or at ingridsworld.org. Thanks for watching.